So last time we looked at the settings in FreeAgent. This time I want to show you how to create a sales invoice. So you can do this from the app on the mobile app on the phone, but if you're doing it on the desktop, if you go to work, so you've got the option here, you can create estimates to go out to clients, you can track time, you can do recurring invoices, but we're just going to look at a basic invoice here. So when you click into invoices, you'll see the list of invoices that have been raised and issued in the system. So we've got the invoices, the contact, it'll show you the total amount and the status. So a draft invoice hasn't yet been sent out to the client. We've got invoices that are overdue and invoices that are paid. If they're overdue, you can send a reminder. And if they're draft, you can still edit them because they've not yet been sent. So what we're going to do is we're going to send a new invoice. So we're going to do add new invoice. You then need to choose who you're going to send that invoice to. So you can send it to one of your existing clients, or if you want to, you can set up a new client. So you just click that button there and follow through who it is you're going to send it to. So we're going to create a new invoice here. If it relates to a particular project that you're doing for that client, you can add in a project. So you'd need to set your projects up, but you can send it out on a particular project. So that's a really good way if you're doing a job for a client and you want to track time and expenses against a particular project and then invoice it out. Invoice reference will automatically be created there, so it will use the same number going through in sequence. If you're using projects, you can have a separate number sequence for each project. Date of the invoice is in there, payment terms, which you can adjust, currency. This one we're not using CIS, but you can do a CIS invoice. Really important to get that in there if you're doing CIS, if you're in construction. And you can also set up payments as well. I highly recommend setting up online payments to clients. It does make it much easier for them to pay, and you're likely to get paid quicker. And hopefully soon, Adfin's coming as well as a link to FreeAgent, which is cheaper than Go Cardless. So with this invoice, you can choose whether you want it to be emailed out automatically to the client, if you want them to send reminders and a thank you to say it's been paid. So those are nice options that you have on there. You can add discounts. So you complete all the information you've got here, whether you're going to use a letterhead, where you want them to pay the money to, because those bank details will appear on the invoice for you. So once you're happy that all of that is correct, you just click create new invoice. And we've now got an invoice in draft. It's showing the layout that we would have set in your settings that we looked through in the last video. So you've got your client address at the top. This is your address, goes at the top there. This is the address of your client. There's the invoice number and the date and when the payment is due. And that's where they need to make the payment to. Company registration number. So the first thing we need to do is add an item on the invoice. So you click add invoice item. And if you're using a price list, then you can have it, the items going straight from your price list. So I've got a power hour set up. So we're going to have 1 hour of support, £100, and it's going to sales. So you can choose where you want things to go to, depending on what income categories you've set up in your chart of accounts. And if you're doing something new, if you're not doing something from your price list, if you want to put something new in, you can add something to your price list as well. So if I picked up, so this is where I put in a power hour, but I could add something new and I'll show you in the next one. So I'm going to do create and add another. So we've got one line on there. So I'm going to put something new on this now. So I'm going to put something now, instead of hours, I'm going to put on there a product. So I'm going to put on there training booklet. Put that in at £5. There we go. So I'm happy with that now. So I'm going to do create and finish. So we can see here, here's my invoice. So we've got 1 hour of support and we've got a training booklet. There's my invoice. I'm happy with that. If I wanted to change the order that things are in, I can move things around. So I can drag it up there, put it to where I want it to be. Once I finish that, because I'm finished with reordering, I can add more items on if I want to. So that's done. I'm happy with that now. So my options are I can save it as a PDF, and that will keep it as draft. It's just going to be a PDF. I can send it by email. I can delete it. I can duplicate it if I want to send the same one to somebody else, add a new invoice, make it recurring, change the theme to what it's going to look like. So I'm going to send it by email. So that's who it's from, that's who it's going to, there's the subject, there's the content of my email. I can go in and edit that and put more text in there if I want to as well. I can include an online payment button if I've got online payment set up. It gives me a preview of what the invoice is going to look like, and then I'm going to send the email. So we can see now that that's moved from make draft to sent. If I realise I've done something wrong, I can click and put that back to make draft, and then I can change it again, and then I can go back to sent. And then when you match things from the bank, it will then go to paid. So if we realise that that was wrong and we want to do a credit note, we can do create a new credit note, or we can add a manual bank transaction. So a manual bank transaction, if maybe somebody's paid into your personal bank account instead of your business bank account, you could then add a manual bank transaction, show that that's paid, and then another manual bank transaction to move that to your drawings account or director's loan. So I hope that helps, and that's a run through of your sales invoice. Let me know what you'd like to hear next.